Here's painfully honest advice on how you can make your first $1 million off of crypto. And I just got to be very clear with you guys. This is not going to be some unrealistic moonshot, try to get rich overnight type of vibe here. This is going to be realistic. I have made multiple millions of dollars in cryptocurrency. And I want to show you exactly how I would take my 7 years of experience and try to shrink it down into 1 year. It's going to be brutal. It's going to be real, but it might wake you up. If you're new here, my name is Alexander Lorenzo. I've been doing crypto full-time for the past 6 years. I've made millions, lost millions. Now I trade professionally with a hedge fund. And just to be clear with you guys, my profit is confirmed by the Security Exchange Commission. It's not confirmed by a screenshot from my homeboy that wants to hype me up, make me feel good about the altcoin that we all purchased together because I brought it to the table. No. The Security Exchange Commission confirms my progress. And what I want to do is frame this advice in a way where it gives you kind of a formula step by step so you can see the progression of you being a beginner trader to somebody that's consistently producing profit. Just to be very clear with everybody, someone that consistently produces profit is somebody that's like a grown up in the crypto world, okay? A lot of people that you guys listen to, they have a job. And they're telling you how to become financially independent. It's a blind leading the blind. I've been financially independent for 6 years. I've seen a lot of pride in this market, and I see the pitfalls even of the people that think they're really good. Just because you found a coin one time doesn't mean you can't replicate it. And so what we have here is systems and processes to predictably find coins on a consistent level. A consistent trader is better than a moonshot trader. And that's what I want to give to you guys. So honest advice number one, you're going to see how these baby traders are turning into a real grown adult through this process. But number one is like probably the most important pitfall. And even some of the best altcoin callers I have seen fall victim to this one thing. Your life is not in order. How can you have stability in a volatile market if your current life is not in order? You don't have a savings, you don't have predictable cash flow, and you're over here trying to literally pay your bills with meme coins on Solana. This does not make sense. What it does, it puts you in a state of mind of panic and fear. And all you're trying to do is pay your bills with these cryptocurrencies. And see, what you don't comprehend is that some of these cryptocurrencies can drop for 9 months. Meaning you will be forced to sell at a loss to pay your bills. So if you have no stability in your life financially, then you have no stability in crypto. You need a savings. You need predictable and consistent cash flow that gives you safety so that you can buy at strategic times and you don't have to sell too early. Get your life in order and stop gambling on the internet. And if you're taking notes, you need to write this down. Most people don't know how much money they're making per month and how much money they're spending. It's kind of embarrassing, to be honest with you. That you should know the exact dollar to the penny. And then people always give these broad, when I ask them this question, they're like, oh, I make $4,000. Like, you don't make, no, bro, it's probably not $4,000. It's probably like $3,542.25, right? You need to know exactly your financial situation. If you cannot steward your personal finances, how can you trade when 98% of crypto traders fail? It doesn't make sense. You're trying to run before you ever walked in your life. You need to know how much money is coming in and how much money is going out. And then you need to take the difference. Let's say hypothetically you have $4,000 coming in, $2,000 coming out. You need to take that difference and start building a savings account to the point where you have stability, right? You need to get so specific, bro. Most people are not specific. They kind of like willy-nilly have their personal finance structure. They don't know. You don't know to the dollar. You don't know how much money you're spending on food. You don't know how much money you're spending on entertainment. And this is why you never have money at the end of the month. This is why you keep gambling. Again, like I said, a lot of you can get rich if you just get your life in order. Get your life in order. Understand these things down to the penny. You should take what I'm saying very serious. Sit there, and here's a pro tip. What you could do is you can go into the last 12 months of your bank statements. Go into your bank, extract the PDF, put it into ChatGPT, and tell it what you want. Be like, hey, I want to know exactly how much money I'm spending per month and exactly down to the dollar, exactly how much income I'm getting per month. And there you go. Whip-de-doo. You got the numbers. You did the bare minimum. Now you qualify for potentially saving up your money to get to the next level and actually being able to invest in these risky, volatile assets. You must take life serious. If you're not serious, it's not going to work. This is the difference between an amateur and professional. Professionals get it done. They get it done to a granular level, to the point where it is very specific, very results oriented, and it actually is real. Willy-nilly amateur people, they kind of, oh, but it's like 4,000 and 2,000. No, bro, it's not true. It's not true. You went on vacation, you spent another $1,000. That's not specific. You need to get specific. Point number 2, which is probably golden rule of cryptocurrency. Never invest money that you're not willing to completely lose. What does that mean? Well, if you look at the dollar amount in your cryptocurrency portfolio right now, on a scale of 1 to 10, and please write this down, okay? On a scale of 1 to 10, how bad does it feel? So for example, you can try this out right now. Let's say hypothetically you have 5,000 in the market. And I feel like that 5,000, if it went poof, gone, somebody hacked it, it's dead, completely gone, okay? How bad does that feel? How does it make you feel? You could even put yourself in kind of a visualization of you actually feeling like you lost that money. And if it's a 7 out of 10, that means you have too much money in the market. You should keep it below a 3 out of 10, meaning if you lost everything, $5,000 turns into 0. If it feels higher, listen to what I'm saying, than a 3 out of 10, you have too much money invested into the market. And listen to my reasoning behind this. One of the #1 biggest reasons why people lose money in trading in general, not just crypto, is emotional trading. People that trade with emotions, meaning they feel a certain type of way. They feel FOMO. They feel the fear of missing out. They feel fear. That's an emotion. They feel too excited. They feel exuberance, irrational exuberance. They feel, that basically means really, really, really excited. They feel euphoria. These are all emotions. And see, the thing is, based off of the meter I just gave you, the higher up you are, the more you are trading with emotions, because that money is actually meaningful to you. I want to give you a story. So I was talking to this guy, super rich dude. Very rich dude. And he was talking about how he got 100x. And we were having a conversation back and forth. And I believe, I don't know the exact words he used, but he basically said like, bro, like everyone I know that got rich off of crypto, the money they put into crypto wasn't meaningful to them. Because for you to get 100x, you got to put your money in an extremely high risk investment. So it's kind of like these rich guys that have a lot of money, just kind of throwing small amounts here, small amounts there, and then it really does well because they don't look at it. The reason why people are able to not look at their cryptocurrency, hold for long periods of time, and not sell at the wrong time is because the money that's in there is not meaningful to them. They're trading without emotions because they set themselves up for success from the beginning. Let's look at the flip side. If you're a 9 out of 10, every dip is going to be emotional. Every pump is going to be excited. It's going to shift you. And next thing you know, your cash flow's getting hit because you're doing really bad at your work. You're not getting enough sleep. And you're constantly refreshing your portfolio on your phone at 2 o'clock in the morning. Does it sound familiar, right? Because the money in the market is extremely meaningful to you, right? You have to, I repeat, take some money out of the market or make more money so that money's not meaningful. You should not be affected by it. People that don't trade with emotions trade the best. They are the best traders. It's mental fortitude, right? You cannot let your emotions get ahead of you. So please do not violate this golden rule. This is one of the most important variables. You have to understand that in high volatile markets with low liquidity, meaning there's not a lot of money, things get real really, really fast. Meaning you could lose 40% of your portfolio in less than 24 hours. I've seen it happen. I've experienced it in my own life. And in that moment, you have a choice to sell it at a loss, to make a big decision. But regardless of what decision you make, your life is going to be on halt in that moment. That day is going to be wrecked. That week maybe even that month is going to be wrecked because the money that's in the market is so meaningful to you that it literally shifts your life. Your life is shifted. Your life is shifted because you have too much money in the market. Please take some money out the market. You'll actually make more. You'll actually make way more. And there's some people that are probably watching this and they're like, you're low-key greedy. You're greedy. You're like, but I can make more because I have more. That's greed. That's an emotion, bro. You're greedy. You're acting with greed, bro. And I've seen many people get wrecked with this. I want to tell you a quick story. That's how I got wrecked my first cycle. I was in a sales position doing very well. I was making like $8K a month. At the age of 23, I was selling. It was like the best job I ever had in my life. I was actually making a lot of money. Then I put the money into Ethereum at $3 to $7. It went up like 10x, 5x, or some crazy amount. I forgot the exact multiples. And literally, I thought I was the man. I was in straight pride, right? Because the money in there was meaningful to me. So my life, it was like crazy to me. It was meaningful. I had no savings. It was too meaningful. And so I was in so much pride that I killed my cash flow. And I quit my job prematurely. I would have been way more rich if I did not quit that job right now. I'd probably have like $500 million, $400 million. Probably not, but I would have way more money than I have now if I didn't quit that job. Because I was really early in Ethereum. $3 to $7 ETH is not normal, right? And so I quit that job, and then I thought I was this financially independent, smart guy. The market drops. I listen to everybody in the market by holding my coins, like hodl to the death. I lose everything, right? And I had to sell it at a loss to pay my bills. That money was way too meaningful, and it turned me into an emotional trader. And emotions are not just negative. Emotions are positive too. Some of you are too overly confident and prideful. Some of you have way too much euphoria and you're too excited. Point number 3, this is where we go from like a baby to like a toddler in cryptocurrency. Please, like when the market pumps, don't diversify into 46 altcoins. This is one of the most consistent things I see for new traders. They have way too much risk. Their portfolio is like $10,000 and they have like 25 coins. There's a couple reasons why this doesn't work. Number one, when you see diversification, like you need to diversify. That doesn't apply to one category. What do I mean by this? You need to diversify into other assets. For example, a little bit of real estate, a little bit of gold, a little bit of stocks, and then a little bit of crypto. That's what it's referring to. Now, is there some truth to diversification within crypto? Maybe buying into different categories? Yes. But having 45 coins is not realistic. It doesn't make sense. That shows me very clearly that you have a lust problem. You're lusting, number one. And number two, it shows me that you have not actually researched your coins. Because if you research 25 coins with intent, you'd find out that true research takes anywhere from 20 to 50 hours per coin. Not only that, but I know you're not even keeping up with the coins because there's new updates, there's new announcements all the time, the liquidity pool shifts. You're not keeping up with 25 coins, especially not part-time, working a full-time job. There's no way. Over-diversification is a clear sign that someone does not know what they're doing. Our standard, what I usually do is 3 to 7 coins. And as I scale and I hire more researchers for the fund, then I'll scale up and diversify the amount of coins I buy. Now, if you have a lot of coins, it's very simple. You need to make a one-page research report on these 3 variables. Number one, look into the team with intent. Do they actually have experience? Are they actually going to pull this off? Right? Number two, look into the liquidity. Is it real liquidity? Is it diversified liquidity? Is it very deep liquidity? Is it very shallow liquidity? Understand the liquidity. A one-page research report. Number 3, demand. How are they going to go viral? Like some of you don't even look at these variables. Like most people, and I'm not trying to attack people. I told you it's going to be brutal, but most people are just getting their investment advice based off somebody's YouTube video or somebody's tweet. And so this is how they accumulate so much. They're watching 3 or 4 different influencers. These 3 or 4 are recommending 3 coins here, 2 coins there, and they're hyping it up. And then their emotions hit them because they don't know what they're doing. They get hyped up from the marketing video. They buy coins. Next thing you know, you got 25. You got 25 coins. You don't know any of them. Your conviction's based off of somebody else's conviction. You don't know their ethics. You don't know their morals. You don't know if they got paid to promote the coin. You don't know anything about the coin. You don't know, and you have 25 coins that you do not comprehend. And then you don't even understand that there's fees involved with selling. You don't even understand that there's price impact. For each coin, depending on how much liquidity there is, if you sell, you will not get 100% of the sell order. You'll lose 20% off the bat because it has low liquidity. You don't understand it completely. You need to go deeper into a select few coins. And if you have 20, what you got to do is you make a one-page research report for each coin, and then you start weaning out the bad ones and selling it to buy the good ones. You could do that. You just compare and contrast. You can scale and rate each coin and just pick your 3 to 7 that you like. Okay, please, over diversification. I've done it before. I've been down that route. I've gotten wrecked. I got wrecked. And you need to get out. The primary thing is lust. It's lust. New shiny objects, new opportunity. You got to move. You feel it. You get emotionally excited. Oh, it's a really good idea. You don't even understand the complete idea for real. You don't take time to do research. You don't take time to really dissect it. You just freak out and you buy the coin, right? Take your time. Patience pays, especially in this market. That's an insane amount of risk, bro. 20 coins, 10 coins, even 10 coins. It's like, like I hardly get over 5. And I have a full-time researcher and I've been doing this for 6 years. I hardly get over 5. And if I find a new coin number 6 that I really, really like, what I'll do is I'll actually just compare it to the weakest coin of my 5 list. I'll look at the 5 and I'll be like, okay, what's the one that's like not been performing, that's really weak? Do I actually like this one better? I compare them and I buy it. And then also, catch this. This is where it gets dynamic. It doesn't have to be a perfect formula that you follow blindly. You can apply it to your life. Here's another example. When we start going into the bull run, maybe diversify a little bit more. So all those coins that were coin number 6, 7, 8, 9, you put them on a watch list. You have a one-page research report per coin, right? And then when it starts booming in a super altcoin season, everything's popping off. Maybe you can increase the diversification just a little bit. Maybe you get to 7 to 9 coins. Maybe you get to that 9 coin and that's fine, but you make the commitment to sell quick on 2 of them. So like, you see what I'm saying? It's not a perfect, like, these are like guardrails, right? When you're bowling, you get guardrails. These are guardrails, and just understand the methodology and understand what I'm saying. Stop over diversifying. That just shows you're not serious. It shows you're not really researching with intent. And this is toddler level stuff. This is toddler level stuff. So point number 4 will get you to the teenager level. If you can get past this part here, okay, this is where we're getting into the teenager and you're actually getting good, right, at crypto and understanding crypto to a high level. So you need to understand specifically the tech. Now, there's a couple ways you could do this. There's 3 different types of ways of learning. There's knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. And maybe the explanation of what I'm saying is not perfect in these categories, but knowledge would be kind of like this. Number 1, read the Bitcoin standard book. Just read it. Read it from the front to the end. This is knowledge, okay? Also, read the top 10 altcoins on CoinMarketCap. Go to CoinMarketCap, Ethereum, Solana. Read their white paper. Now, I'm going to help you out because the verbiage on there is crazy and it gets very, very complicated. What you want to do is export it into a PDF. And if they don't have a PDF, then you can screenshot the page and put it into ChatGPT. You need to take the PDF, put it into ChatGPT, and you sit there and go through the exact white paper of all the top 10 coins. You need to spend like a lot of time per white paper. Like, I don't know how much time it is because I don't know how many pages, but you need to sit there and really comprehend the technology. And if there's a part that you do not understand, you need to tell ChatGPT to explain it to you like you're 10 years old. And you sit there and you go through it slowly. Don't just read the white paper, go through the white paper slowly. This would be in a category of knowledge. Knowledge is just random facts and information, but you're kind of seeping your way into understanding because you're taking it slowly and you're actually comprehending. Because, guys, crypto is like a finance degree, macroeconomics, and internet degrees all in one. You have to comprehend the internet, macroeconomics, and money all in one to comprehend the benefits of crypto and why it's innovative. This is why nobody comprehends it and nobody gets that this is the future. They don't get it because it's so hard to grasp. So at a teenage level, you need to comprehend the tech. Now, in the understanding category, right, that's knowledge and kind of seeping its way to understanding. Understanding would be like you could take $50, buy Ethereum on Coinbase, take the Ethereum, put it on the base chain through decentralized wallets, right? And then you could sit there and actually buy a coin on a decentralized exchange. Now, some of you know how to do this, but listen to what I'm saying. Some of you don't know what price impact is. You don't know what slippage is. You don't know how the decentralized exchange actually operates in the background. So what you want to do is screenshot, go through the exact process, screenshot every single page and ask ChatGPT, be ruthless, relentless, and diligent in this. If you can catch this, it will save you years on your journey. There's so many mistakes I made because I thought I knew, but I didn't actually know. So many mistakes. You can weed out maybe hundreds of mistakes by actually comprehending the tech and actually understanding Web 3.0. For real. And I'm learning new things every day. So you take the screenshots, you go through the exact process. You buy the ETH, you send the ETH to your wallet. You go to the DEX, you connect it to the DEX, you swap a coin. There's so many, I can name like 50 off the top of my head, little interconnecting parts of that exact process right there that you could simply screenshot, put it into ChatGPT. Put it into ChatGPT and comprehend it. Tell it to explain to you like you're 15 years old. Tell it to do not miss any information. I want to understand it all. I want to memorize it. You can go that far if you feel led. Is to sit there and memorize every little detail, understand price impact, understand liquidity, understand a decentralized exchange, understand LP tokens, understand everything that's involved with it, DeFi, exactly how the loans work, Aave loans, Flash loans, MEV bots. There's so many different things, and you can sit there and really get a deep understanding. So that's knowledge, understanding, and then wisdom is the application of your understanding into something that produces results in real life. Now, this wisdom element comes to the next part. This is why I say you're a teenager, you're graduating. And by the way, our course has like phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. This would be like phase 2 kind of trickling into phase 3. Let me explain. Now, this is where we're getting in the category of like less than 10% of people in cryptocurrency, which is nobody has an actual strategy. Meaning, if I told you, what is your methodology of buying a coin, it will likely be extremely unprofessional. It will likely be random thoughts in your head. It will likely be not actually vetted. Like you might say something like, oh, tokenomics. Tokenomics, I can't believe, like it blows my mind that people still look at tokenomics as a primary method of research because they have not vetted, they don't know what it actually means. So it's probably willy-nilly in your mind. It's probably not on paper. It's probably not something you actually follow. Maybe you just want to answer the question, what's the methodology, right? In your mind right now, you're probably trying to justify something. Oh yeah, I looked at I know the kind of this. No, bro. I'm talking about a professional checklist system, and it's been refined, meaning there's 10 variables or 15 variables, and those 15 variables have been checked. Like this is a variable. It is real. I know it's real because this variable has led to 64 coins increasing in price. And each interconnecting part has been vetted to actually be real. And then the whole checklist itself is actually vetted too. Meaning the whole checklist, I have taken this and I've run through it 45 times. And of the 45 times I followed this checklist, it gave me 5 failures, 10 wins, and 2 neutrals or something. There's an exact checklist process we follow when finding altcoins. And it is so specific that I can shut my brain off and go and find them. It's so specific that I could tell somebody else and give them the piece of paper. I gave it to people in my group. And we came out with 250 well-refined altcoins that are not just random scams on Dex Screener or Gecko Terminal, right? That's how specific it is. It's so specific that somebody that doesn't know anything can take the checklist and probably get to 90% of it, get through 90% of the checklist. That's how specific your methodology has to be. You have to be able to shut your brain off, sit there, take that thing and run it through altcoins. Like run it through altcoin, like bam, bam. This altcoin doesn't, nope, we're missing this. Gone. This alt, nope, it's missing this. Gone. This altcoin, nope, it's, oh, this kind of a window. Okay, let's put it on the checklist. We'll get to the next part. And by the way, what we have is like a multi-step framework The strategy behind it is the thing that makes you so inefficient. Because maybe you could find an altcoin here and there because you have kind of like a little methodology in your brain, but you can never multiply it. You don't have an organized way of predictably finding them. There's no structure to what you're doing. This is how you get consistent altcoins, because to be honest with you, sure, everybody can get one moonshot, but the thing is, when you find that 50x, how much money did you put in it, right? Did you put a little bit of money because you didn't fully comprehend? The more refined your checklist is, the more faith you have in investing in the coin itself. So if I have this check, if it's like 100% and I'm freaking out, I might do something like put 50% of my portfolio and it gets a 50x. What do you think we did with Pendle Finance? I made very specific claims. I said, look, this thing is hard. It's really good. It wasn't just I called the coin and then took credit for it on the internet. It was like I put 50% of everything I had in it. There's a lot of conviction behind it because it checked off every single box. But the reason you have no faith and conviction in the coins is because you don't even know if your methodology even works. This is where a whole paradigm shift in crypto traders' reality. This is right here. This is what it is, a whole paradigm shift. And the main thing is, it's just very simple. It's professional versus amateur. Professional have put in an absurd amount of reps. You don't think Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant had systems to train? You don't think they've tried to tweak every little step, every little element of their diet, every little element of their sleep? You don't think they have methodology behind what they're doing? You don't think they've sought other wise counsel of people like, hey, do you think I should shoot like this? Or do you think I should shoot like this? You don't think they've tried that? Thousands of times have created a very specific routine that they follow on a consistent basis? This is what gets you to the next level of wisdom, to where you start getting away from this teenager stuff and you find predictability. Write that down. Predictability. Being able to predictably find the coins. Not find them one time, not find them two times. I know if I put a certain amount of hours, like I think it's like 3, like from what I've seen, and maybe we can find statistics on this and I can test this. I think it's like 3. If I put in 3 hours worth of focused work, I will find a bare minimum of one altcoin that could be a 50x. Like bare minimum. I have proved this. There's people in my groups, they know this. I will sit there on a live Q&A, follow the system, and pretty much out of 10 live Q&As, 8 of them, I will find a coin. Every time. And every time, people freak out and like, how'd you do that? And I'm like, I followed the system that I've cultivated. And I gave you the same system, right? So you need to systematize your methodology, your strategy to where there's predictability so that you can scale your efforts. Catch this. You get off of work at 5 p.m. You have from 5 to 9. You got to go to sleep at 9. You got to eat. You got 4 hours. So you got 5 hours, 4 hours because you got to eat, right? You got maybe 3 hours because you got to take a shower and talk to your family. You got 3 hours. Right? The person that doesn't have systems, those 3 hours are trash. They ain't nothing compared to somebody that all they have to do is follow the checklist. They follow the checklist. Their 3 hours is like 15 hours of somebody that doesn't have methodology and doesn't have a system. Because in those 3 hours is extremely focused on something that they know really works. But then the other guy's 3 hours is consuming videos. Maybe this influencer might say something. Maybe this guy might give me a gem. Maybe. It's a lot of maybes. There's no predictability. There's no consistency. A lot of maybes. It's willy-nilly. And you can see how a person that's doing this combined with the fact that the money that they invest in the market is way too meaningful for them and they're gambling, right? So they're gambling. The money is extremely meaningful. They don't have cash flow to pay their bills. You can see a recipe for disaster. And this is why a lot of people get wrecked. Because they have no money on the side. They have no savings. They have no predictable cash flow. They have no system. They have no organization. And they're gambling. And so it's all over the place. And then what happens is they make money off of one coin. It goes up 50x. They freak out. And next thing you know, they're stuck in extreme pride because they've never produced results in anything else in their life. And so this one win is like the center focus of their existence. Oh my gosh. I've seen it the other day. I saw a guy's Instagram bio. I saw his videos. I'm like, he says, I'm a crypto portfolio builder. And I'm like, bro, no, like, bro, you got one win and your whole identity is now based off of this one win you did one time. One time. And then that type of identity keeps you away from actually doing the dirty work, which you should be doing. And this is the enemy of genius is greatness. People that do kind of well, they get stuck. This is where most of the people start failing. They're kind of good. They know how to research a lot. They're really smart. They go into the Telegram groups. They go into the Twitter groups. They watch the right things. They're looking at the Federal Reserve. They're kind of good. They're kind of good, but they can't take it to the next level because they're prideful. They can't take it to the next level because they can't listen. They can't take it to the next level because they think they're God's gift to the world and that everybody needs to listen to them. The enemy of genius is greatness. And a lot of people stay in that greatness category forever and they never make their first $1 million. They're staying at the 100K per year level forever because they can't listen, they can't lock down and actually be real with themselves like maybe I'm not there yet. I hate this category because I was stuck in this category for the longest period of time. This was the category I was stuck in for like 5 years. This is the category that got me to live off my wife's income in pride, thinking I was some super smart guy trying to teach people about finance, but I have no income. And I lost my money off crypto. And I was living off my wife's paycheck because she was a nurse practitioner. Or no, at the time she was an RN. And I was using her car. She was paying my rent. And I was still trying to tell people about money. Because I got one coin that did a phenomenal and I made a lot of money off. Just one coin. I bought Ethereum, $3 to $7, stuck in pride for 3 years. Don't do that. Humble yourself under the mighty hand of God, and in due time you will be exalted. These things, this wisdom, this timeless wisdom is not for no reason. God humbles people for a reason. He keeps people low for a reason. Because if he gave it to you too early, you'd fumble the bag. And so now what I try to do is suppress the amount I receive, and I like to increase how hard I work. That's kind of the formula. Work harder, stop expecting as much. That will get you very far. I want to make sure my spiritual growth outweighs my physical growth. 10 times out of 10. I want to make sure my spiritual growth is going first, then my character's there, right? Then my discipline, and then maybe my research strategies towards the end. Then I'll refine my research strategy. This is exactly how I structure my days, by the way. I structure my days like this on purpose because I have a priority. And my spiritual growth, my character, my morals, my ethics, my discipline is significantly more important than the refining of my systems and my crypto systems. Even though they're really good, I need to make sure I'm a really good person. That's important. So the next category of stepping into adulthood, once you have consistency, you're actually making money off of crypto, it's predictable, you're not gambling, right? You qualify, or you're getting to the next level, you actually know what you're doing. There's a time and place for building, okay? Listen to what I'm saying. This is actually my favorite category because I believe this is where you actually learn the most. You have to learn how to bring people in crypto, right? Think about it this way, MicroStrategy, right? Michael Saylor. This dude is basically an influencer. Look at how much time he spends promoting crypto to the public. Just think about it. His company, all they do is buy Bitcoin, leverage Bitcoin, and then Michael Saylor is basically trying to convince people to buy his stocks so he could dilute the value of his stocks to buy more Bitcoin. It's this element of selling crypto to the world. All right, this is important. I believe it's also important in other financial asset classes like the stock market, but it's significantly more important in crypto because we're bringing new people into crypto. Less than 3% of the world is actually in crypto right now. So listen to what I'm saying. Every big, very wealthy person thinks about their public perception, and there's a lot of limiting beliefs behind the subject for some reason. A lot of limiting beliefs, like people just don't want to identify or understand this. If you really want to make money in cryptocurrency, you have to build within cryptocurrency. Think about Elon Musk. There's a kind of research methodology we use called timeline price analysis. If you do timeline price analysis on Bitcoin's price and the Bitcoin dominance chart, which is basically one of the indicators for altcoin season, you'll see that when Elon Musk started talking about Dogecoin. He never talked about crypto before. He starts talking about Dogecoin. This was one of the biggest reasons we flew into an altcoin market of altcoin season in 2021. One of the biggest reasons, because a public perception, right? A public person starts low-key selling crypto. This is important. Here's another one. I always explain this. One of the most important things. I basically base all of my research off of three main variables: liquidity, team, and demand. Now, demand is how many people demand the token, how many people want to buy it. And the byproduct of that is marketing. So if you really want to comprehend why people buy coins, you need to understand human psychology and marketing, right? Narratives, stories, why things go viral. And see, this is where it's going to blow your mind. The best way to understand demand, which is the most nuanced part of our research strategy, it's the most difficult part of our research strategy, is to actually know how to go viral yourself. If you actually know how to do it yourself, then you actually understand why coins go viral. So, for example, here's a hypothetical. I can make a video, it goes viral, it gets 3 million views. I made that video from scratch. I said the exact same things I wanted to say. I made it go viral. Let's say a coin really closely matches the narrative of my video, meaning my video is talking about this kind of specific thing in crypto. The coin is like that exact story, basically. Their story is like manufactured to go viral. I would say that if they put enough sauce behind their marketing campaign, they will go viral. Why? Because if I make that same story in a video multiple times, then the virality is confirmed. The narrative, it's a confirmed narrative. We only invest in coins that have confirmed narratives. And where do you think all of this wisdom came from? It came from the fact that I know how to predictably go viral and build in crypto. So it's kind of a mandatory, and you're probably doing it for free right now. You probably have told your friends about 5 coins. You probably took somebody's narratives. Oh my gosh, this is bringing back, flashbacks. You probably went, right? Watched a YouTube video, got super inspired, bought a coin, then took the same main points that YouTube video was talking about the coins and went and communicated it to your friend. You spread the narrative. You spread the story. And so if you could comprehend that story, that narrative, and which ones work and which ones don't, you will become a significantly better trader. Significantly better. Significantly better. Okay? Because in other cases, you're not going to understand what narratives go viral. You're not going to understand. You're going to look at a coin and be like, you're going to think everything is going to work. You're going to be like, oh, this coin is green technologies. It's a solar panel coin. You're going to think all these coins that have no narrative, no demand behind it, you're going to think all of them are super good, even though the technology probably is good, but nobody wants to buy it because nobody cares. The demand element is the most nuanced part, but it's also the most rewarding if you can truly comprehend it. Not only that, but in the adult stage, when you're building in crypto, you can actually start building cash flow in crypto. Meaning your business, and this is what I'm doing, is within crypto and you're making money, and at the same time, you're also investing. So it kind of doubles down on your wisdom, right? A lot of people, for example, here's another hypothetical. You could have a really, really good crypto trader, but maybe he's working for Publix or Walmart. He's working for, how does the Walmart, experience apply to his trading journey? Not so much. Maybe there's a little bit of overlap, but not so much. In my case, everything I do in business directly applies to my investment and trading strategy. So it compounds the amount of experience I get. It compounds the amount of results I produced, which refines my system on an exponential level, right? And so this is like the adult phase where you get your cash flow and your investing aligned with the same niche and you hyper focus on this. This is where you get like really, really crazy. This is where if they can get past the greatness level and step into genius territory, this is where you get 10 to 20 times better than somebody that's kind of great. The Bible even talks about this. Those that make money will make more. And those that don't have, that's not, I'm paraphrasing, those that don't have will make less. It's kind of like this gap. You can even look at it in the data, the wealth inequality gap, right? Where people that know what they're doing, they don't make 2 times more. Like if this person got 1 unit of results and he's great, the person that's genius is not getting 3 unit of results. You can see this in reality. It's a momentum, whatever you want to call it. They're getting, the people that are genius, they're getting 20 times the results. This is consistent. This is a consistent thing I've seen throughout reality. So I'm telling you, it's not a small leap, right? What I'm saying might be hard. Like, I don't want to build in crypto. I don't want to be an entrepreneur. I just want to trade all day meme coins. Like, it might sound hard, but if you could take the steps slowly but surely over a longer time horizon and really broaden it, right? Increase your time preference instead of trying to get wins right now. You start thinking about the future, and this is what the whole point of this video is, to save you a lot of time and a lot of mistakes. If you broaden your time horizon, you can step into the 20, 30x category when it comes to your experience and your results. And this is where it gets really insane, because what we're talking about here is a shift in the monetary system, the most significant in the past 100 years. The only thing that's comparable to this monetary shift is in 1902, with the creation of the Federal Reserve. So I would say that this is probably in that category when it comes to tokenization and all of these new assets in crypto and this new financial system. So if you can create a business and an investment strategy that's predictable, consistent, and it actually works and survive in crypto, you are creating some type of foundation within a new monetary shift, right? This is bigger. You know, everybody compares, you know, it's like adopting the internet before everybody else. Like that is like maybe 1/5, 1/10 of what's happening. The reason I say that, when you think in the perspective of the internet, we're only talking about the internet. When you think in the perspective of blockchain, we're talking about precious metals, we're talking about art, we're talking about the internet, we're talking about assets, we're talking about stocks, we're talking about pretty much every category. So it's a shift not only in the internet world, in the digital world, it's also a shift in anything that has value in the world. Anything that retains value in reality can be put on a blockchain and monetized. So there's a lot at stake. If you know this stuff, there's a lot at stake. You need to double down. You know, everybody has, I believe, a God-given purpose on this world. Everybody has a God-given purpose. And there's some people that do it and there's some people that don't. It's just the way it goes. Some people actually walk in their God-given purpose. Some people don't. And so me, I don't know about you, I'm going to squeeze this life for the most juice. So even though things in my life might sound really hard, I'm going to find a way to rely on God to get me there. And I'm going to believe. I'm not going to be the guy that doubts, right? I'm going to be the guy that believes. That's my personality. I'm going to have faith in what God has done for my life, and I'm going to move forward in that direction. So it may seem big, but it's not bigger than God. And that's kind of what I want to leave it on. You have to build in crypto if you want to be an adult. This is kind of the path. Is there traders that don't build anything and are making money? Sure. But from what I've seen, no. Most of them, they got to build, especially within crypto, because there is an element of bringing people in. You got to train people. You got to understand it. And that's pretty much it for the video. Thank you guys for watching. If you like the quality of this content, hit like. If you don't, leave some constructive criticism. Subscribe for more video updates. And like I always say, if you don't get with it, you will get left behind. Catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.